Hello YouTubers, welcome back to ThoseYGOguys. I'm your host, Alessandro, and yes, I'm back. I am sorry for my long absence. A lot of things have happened to me over mainly the past month. Those of you who are watching this video who know me personally probably already known about what I've been through, and yeah, it's drama and shit and all that stuff. So, but enough says, I'm back, and what better way to discuss this video than a little Banlist discussion on for the possible April 1st, 2014 Banlist, which is just right around the corner. Today's date that I'm recording this video is the 13th of March 2014. So, yeah, I think it's about a good time to start making a video. So, yeah. Well, I was watching a lot of videos lately, and, just curious what were a lot of other people's thoughts and opinions based on what could happen. Basically, for ban cards for coming back. I mean, to be honest, there's a few bit of ban cards that could potentially coming back. Just looking at my binder, like Yada, Thousand Eyes Restrict. What else is there? Dark Magician of Chaos. Yeah. What else is there? It's flipping over. And also I've heard news about the Dark Strike Fighter errata that the OCG is recently getting a reprint. That seems very interesting. Would that mean? Would that means that are we getting Dark Strike Fighter being unbanned into the TCG? That depends. If it does get unbanned, the most likely thing will happen is it will get a reprint, and the only product that personally that I can see something like that will happen will be the premium gold. So we'll have to wait and see. If it does get unbanned, that's pretty much a little hint saying it's getting a reprint soon. But if it doesn't, well, it doesn't. For all of you hero players who want Stratos to come back off the ban list, I am so sorry. You're probably going to hate me for what I'm about to say, but honestly, I really don't see Stratos coming back at all. Even the new announcement for the OCG of the hero structure deck being announced, I don't think that's going to warrant the unbanning of Stratos. I mean, as much as many hero players would love to see Stratos, the problem is I know Stratos is not a overly powerful card, but at the same time, it's strong enough to make a deck being put back onto the tier list. And what many big YouTubers and many people are making assumptions saying, like, just put Bowman to 1, bring Stratos back to 1, and problem solved. And the problem is that it's a lot more complex than just that. I don't think putting Bowman to 1 and then bring back Stratos will warrant anything. The thing is that, one, we're getting a hero structure deck for TCG sometimes later this year. OCG, we know they're getting it over the summer. To be exact, I think it's June 21st, 2014. The thing is that if they're going to announce a structure deck, most likely they might going to announce probably new cards for heroes. And that's not a good combination if Stratos is being unbanned. So, and if Stratos is being unbanned, then they gotta hit more cards just to equalize for Stratos being unbanned, such as, unfortunately, like Destiny Hero Malicious, A Hero Lives, Emergency Call, and God knows what, who knows what new support we might get from the structure deck if we are getting any. I mean, it just caused so much problems. I mean, it's easier to unban Stratos. I know that sounds unfair, but sadly, it's kind of how the way it is. But yeah. What else is there? Dragon Ravine. I'm not gonna put high hopes on seeing Dragon Ravine getting unbanned. I'm not. I mean, if it does get unbanned, I will have a really humongous smile to see that happen. I mean, I love Dragoonies. I love them to death. But, you know, I don't know. It's something to be wary of. It's kind of like the same story with Stratos, but I don't know. It's. I know there's been a heated debate because people have been pointing out like Grand Spellbook Tower, Gates of Dark World, Harpy's Hunting Ground, Necro Valley. I mean, they can all do some really insane combination and all that. And Dragon Ravine is like a costful way of playing the card, and I'm not getting into it. It's whatever. Fortunately, we have Mavelist, which, yeah, I need to start investing on Mavelist and Instant Fusions to start playing that version of Dragoonies once again. I think that should be good. Personally, I would like to see Wind Up Zenmighty, Wind Up Care Zenmighty back, but I know that's not going to happen. It's just a nice little wishful thinking, but that's not going to happen. But yeah, I think that's about it for banned cards section. So next up, we're going to be talking about the big 5 decks that we've seen throughout this format. Starting off with Heretics. Played this deck. I have this deck built around September. So let me see what can. The thing is, Heretic Rulers have been doing a whole lot throughout this format. I mean, the number of tops is pretty low. It's probably like number 5 spot on the top 5, I'll say. I mean, so very likely this deck could probably get away unscathed, or at worst, probably face some minor hit, like maybe a Sealed Convocation, stuff like that. Or maybe people talk about hitting the Atum. Who knows? But all in all, I'm not too greatly worried about Heretics getting badly damaged from the list. So it's kind of whatever. This is pure Heretics that I'm playing. So I'm not playing Heretic Rulers because, one, I'm too poor to invest on Heretic Seal of Ashes. I think that's ridiculous, that card, how it shot up in price. That's personally my opinion, but yeah, it's whatever. Until something happens, I'll probably move on to updating that Heretics deck. Up next, we have Spellbooks. Spellbooks have done a bit, not a whole lot. They did have a good early start, and again, just like Heretics, I would not expect too much of too big of a hit. I think the problem why they're not topping as much as they are, or what they once were doing earlier in the format, like currently wise, the problem is the popularity of Fire Fist. Spellbooks is more of a control build like archetype, and unfortunately Fire Fist at the same time is control but more aggro, a lot more aggressive, which is something that Spellbooks, they don't have the manpower to fight off the aggressiveness of Fire Fist. And the only best way to fight off Fire Fist is through aggressiveness, such as Mermails. So the thing is, many people have talked about what will happen if spells really will get hit. Some people say basically just one card, and that's Spellbook of Fate. I'm on the fence because if they do ban Spellbook of Fate, that takes away the offensive capability of the deck, which unfortunately that would be very unfortunate. But I don't know. To me, I think they're fine. I never really have much of a problem with spellbooks. So I think they'll be fine the way it is. So up next we have Gyurgia Karakuri. Now that deck has been may not be as strong as Fire Fist and Mermails, but it's still a very really decent deck. So going through the deck, I know they run like Gear Gang X and the Gyurgia armors, and they had the Gyurgia gears and all the stuff where basically they search. So it's like monster spams with trap cards that stops posing trap cards, and then OTK like nobody's business. I know that sounds pretty stupid, and trust me, it's pretty very silly deck. But the problem is that we have yet receiving the newer Gyurgia support, and the problem is that they don't want to kill off Gyurgia or hamper them to a great degree where they cannot be played, because otherwise that will hurt any future sales for the new Gyurgia support. So we have to look back into what else is going on in the earlier format, and funny enough, I think the first YCS of this format was in Australia, which has been won by none other than Katakuris. So I would not be surprised if they hit Katakuris instead. That's just a little speculation on my part. Which will kill off the spamming, so it might weaken the Gyurgia Karakuri variant, but at the same time leaving the Gyurgia intact, so that way they can promote the sales for the Gyurgia, the newer cards. I don't know. I know that sounds very unfair, and I agree to an extent, but I mean, we have to understand that Konami is a business and they need to promote stuff in order to push the sales. And we don't know when we're going to get the Gyurgia on top of the new Light Swords. So even I don't know when. So outside of that, I think that's all I can discuss about Gyurgias and Gyurgia Karakuris. Alright, so up next we move on to Mermails. This has been the deck I've been playing 1 month after Abyss Rising has been released. I've been playing Mermails constantly, and there's been like 2 possibility of hits. These are candidates. Does not mean that both of them will get hit. Maybe one or the other. Who knows what Konami will do. But Mermails and Fire Fist have been the most popular deck throughout this format. And looking through my deck, possible candidates will be like Mermail Bistius, which when you special summon him is level 7. You get to search for any level 4 or lower Mermail monsters. And it's like discard 1, special summon Bistius. That's a candidate there. And the most common candidate that a lot of people have been talking about is Abyss Sphere, which could happen as well. I'm not going to argue about that. Seeing them hit will suck. I mean, it will hurt my feelings because I love this deck a lot, but at the same time, I mean, it has to happen because Konami needs to promote the newer products, which I guess that's the price. But I think that's simple. And I guess what was the saving grace for Mermails is the fact that they kind of received popularity pretty late of the format. So, I mean, they got a few tops early, but not as much as the next one, Fire Fist. So, it depends to what degree we're going to see. But the next deck, which I received, this is the 4-axis Fire Fist with, it has Dragon, Brotherhood Fire Fist Dragon, the 10 cents. It's not the +1 Fire Fist that many people have been playing and became pretty popular. But that build is really interesting, I will admit. I'm looking through all this. The initial thoughts that many people will say is just say, hit tanky. But the problem about hitting tanky is that Konami wants to promote future products as well, such as Boojins. They run Beast Warriors. Katakuri. Not Katakuris. Kwakimares. Excuse me about my error. They run Beast Warrior. Have you seen Kwakimare Urnite? He's a Beast Warrior, and he's pretty good. What else is there? Gosh, there's Glider Beast. Oh yes, Glider Beast, and they're getting new support as well. There's this list where tanky can help these other decks, so it's something that Konami has to keep that in mind. So other candidates, instead of hitting tanky, will be like Colt Soldier Wolfbark or Brotherhood of the Fire Fist Bear, which makes more sense because tanky bear is like your never-ending supplies of bears and tankies. They coincide one another very in a mutual aspect. It's kind of like your bread and butter. You can't. Tanky's real power is coming from Bear, which Bear abuses Tanky to the extent which brings out a constant supply of bears. If you lose one bear, you get another bear. Non-stop. And Wolfbark is kind of like the one card Xyz play. So, all in all, anything can happen in this list. What else is there? I don't know if they're going to try to promote Pendulum Summons in this list, or they're going to wait the list afterwards. This has been brought up by SS Jason 19, which he brought up about Bottomless Trap Hole when it comes down to Pendulum Summons. Like, okay, Pendulum Monster X, Pendulum Monster Y, drop my entire hand, and they happen to be 1500 or more. Bottomless Trap Hole's power would be really, really incredible. So that could be a problem for Pendulum summoning. But that's just a little guess. It might happen, might not. And then another card that has also been brought by SS Jason 19. Very interesting, and this also been brought by the RJB0 as well. And they talk about Soul Drain. And Soul Drain has been a card that is pretty good side deck option overall. But the issue is that it's going to cause a bit of problem for future products such as artifacts in a way. So that could be a problematic in a sense. So I don't know if we're going to see Soul Drain going to the chopping block or not. That's been an interesting speculation made by those two. So that might be an interesting pointer to point that out to you guys. And then finally, the Upstart Goblins, the Reckless Greeds, and to a small extent, Karkards. These cards have been seen as staple level in, unfortunately, almost every single deck, which even I don't agree 100% on Hobening idea. but that is something that we are seeing a lot. And the problem is that Konami is not a big fan of this, seeing cards became staple and you seeing like being splashed in every single deck. Personally, in my opinion, I don't see Upstart Goblin that big of an issue, but at the same time, I could probably see Reckless Greed getting hit. Personally, in my opinion, I see 2, but who knows? I mean, Konami, they can do whatever they want. I mean, it's something that I cannot sit down and try to read their minds. I don't think you can either. So it's up for grabs. So yeah, I think that's basically about everything I need to cover. So yeah. So all we can do now is just wait until we see the official list on the official Konami website. And the thing is just patience of virtue. I know there has been a fake list being announced, and that's like the most important moral of the story. Patience. I mean, it's the most important virtue of the story. Patience is a virtue. So have patience, and we will see what will happen. I'm prepared to see what changes will happen. Anything can happen. Remember that. In terms of ban-wise cards, personally, I don't see any cards have a potential game ban. I mean, this has been first time that we see is that no card has been screaming out, ban me, ban me. So yeah, that's basically my opinions, my own thoughts on it. So once the ban list has been revealed, I'll do a video based on that. So let me know what you guys think about it. Do you agree with my thoughts? Do you disagree with my thoughts? I mean, this is just a discussion. This is not like, this is set in stone. It has to be like this. I mean, I could be wrong. I'll just say that. So leave a comment down below and give me your feedback. So without further ado, stay tuned for more of ThoseYGOguys. I'm your host, Alessandro, and I will see you guys later. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.